Welcome to another DK Custom Products video. My name is Kevin. This is Dwayne. And today we're going to be doing a video clearing up misconceptions of what we've said in previous videos that we've done. Dwayne, the misconception that is out there, the words that have been put in our mouths, the people referring to something, a video we've made or a report that we put out, and then saying that we are saying that every bike's going to melt down or every bike's going to blow up, every bike's going to, break down. It's just not true. And that's what this video is about. Right. What are we saying and what are we not saying? Right.
So yes, another heat video, but we're not going to throw a bunch of numbers and testing results at you. We're going to talk about how, while we don't have an extremely successful YouTube channel, we're not Mr. Beast of the Harley world by any means, but we've come a long way in the past couple of years. So the more popular our channel gets and the more popular our information gets, the more popular the misconceptions are getting, it seems like.
People take a little grain of sand, something that we said, and before we know it, they're quoting us and they have a boulder.
That's right, right. And a lot of people, they'll say it. Those guys, they're just trying to sell you an oil cooler or this or that or that. They're just trying to tell you your bike's going to blow up if you don't buy an oil cooler. That's not the case.
So let's get down to the nut cutting, okay? And number one is we will put up in the corner our series on why and how to cool down your twin cam and Milwaukee 8 engine. Everything in that series, what we say, not what other people say we said, but what we say is true, and we stand behind that. The biggest thing that we get misrepresented on is when we say if your bike is running, the oil is running hotter than 230, that is not good. It's in the Harley manual, 230.
It's not a number we made up out of thin air. It's in your manual. It's from the manufacturer.
And then we say if the engine temp goes above 270, you're going to have reduced performance and accelerated wear. We are not saying that the bike is going to melt down.
Not at all. Not at all.
Although that does happen, it's the exception, not the rule. And we have videos that we put out where a guy's bike has gotten to 310, 320, and it did melt down and it did have to be completely rebuilt. But again, that is the exception, not the rule. Now, that 110 twin cam that we videoed earlier, was that a Street Glide or a Heritage?
Oh no, Slim, a 110 FLSS.
Okay.
It was the last of the
twin,
the slim specials with the 110.
With the 110 twin cam in it.
That's correct.
And we saw the carbon on the top. We saw that rear cylinder exhaust port was white.
Yep.
Which isn't
very hot.
Too hot. Too hot for its own good. That's why it's being pulled apart.
That is correct. More than likely, we have the stereotypical problem we all knew about with the twin cams.
So that bike is a generic stage one, or is it OEM?
That bike is completely stock.
Completely stock. Stock exhaust, stock tune, stock air cleaner.
Yep, stock air cleaner, everything. Just like it came off the showroom floor.
What is the rule is that when it's too hot, it is going to have accelerated wear. It's going to wear out faster than if it wasn't too hot. It is going to have reduced power. These are facts that are clearly demonstrated by any bike being on the dyno.
If you don't think that your Harley Davidson running a little cooler is going to make it last longer and run more efficiently for longer and run at or close to peak performance for longer, we're just too far apart in opinions. Just unsubscribe and watch other videos because you're not going to agree with anything we say. But if you do think those things, we just want to share the data we've collected. We know a lot of you guys don't have a dyno. You don't have access to a dyno to just test this or that, and we do. So we put a bike on a dyno, we get it up to an operating temperature, we determine how much power loss there is, we share that. We're not saying the bike is going to explode because it's at that temp, because they're all at that temp. That's right. But let's not pretend the Harley Davidsons are the most reliable motorcycle out there. And one of the big reasons is because of heat. And I don't see how that's debatable. I don't see how that's debatable.
When you get hot and the power drops because the timing is pulled, it's a fact. It's nothing to think about it. It's a fact. But here's what happens. The biggest thing that people say out there that I want to clear up in this video is they say, well, you're saying that if my bike's running at 270, 290, 300, 310, that it's going to blow up or it's going to stop running. No, we're not saying that. In fact, I've said in multiple videos that my 2011, I knew it was running too hot. I was trying to get the dealership to do something about it. They wouldn't. They said it's just normal. And I had just gotten back from a 5,000-mile trip. I knew it was running too hot because I could feel it. And I also felt like I had got less and less power as time went on. But the bike was running. Mary and I had run when the speed limit's 80 in Texas. I was doing 80, 85. We'd gone all the way out to the West Coast, up the coast, through, along the Pacific Coast Highway, and then back through Montana. 5,000-mile trip. The bike didn't break down. It didn't melt. It didn't blow up. It was running fine. In other words, it was getting us there, but I just felt it was too hot. And I felt that over time I'd had less power. So I finally got the dealership to do a leak down test. They did the leak down test. It failed. I mean, it wasn't like it was at like 73 or 62. It couldn't even measure a number on the leak down because as fast as the air was going in, it was going out the exhaust because it was so worn out from so many miles of too much heat. And it was rebuilt under the warranty, factory warranty. It was rebuilt because it got too hot. But it didn't blow up. It didn't melt. I had just gotten back from a 5,000-mile ride. We'd had no issues. There were no hills that we couldn't go up because there wasn't enough power. So we're not saying, and we've never said, that it's going to melt or blow up or, you're going to leave you stranded on the side of the road. That does happen. It's the exception. Great video. I had my 110 hit just under 300 degrees a few times after the new build. And I had it taken in for warranty work 5,000 miles later. And they found my front piston had scored the front cylinder and needed replacing. They said it had got too hot. This is at the dealership. And it also needs a new crank due to binding and new pistons and cylinders. So here's yet another guy who's having to have his engine rebuilt. His Harley dealership has told him it's because it got too hot. And it didn't even get to 300 degrees. And he's having his engine rebuilt because it's bound up the crankshaft and the pistons and the cylinders got damaged from heat. Not the rule. What the rule is that most people do what I do, go, hey, it's too hot, and the Harley dealer says, oh, that's normal, and they just go about riding. Okay? I pushed the matter. I actually had to tell the dealer, I will pay. If it passes the leak down test, I'll pay for it. But if it doesn't pass, you pay for it because you're going to have to do the warranty work. And they finally agreed to that and did that. And that's when we found out I had extensive damage.
And that most people are that way. We get the comment all the time, well, my bike has 50,000 miles. It must be a unicorn. I don't have any cooling components. I will eat my hat if that bike hasn't had any performance loss. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Oh, just do a leak down test. That's your litmus test.
Exactly. It's very often you hear of heat damage. Like, it's not like we're making these things up. Like, we've all heard of bikes that have experienced heat damage to the point of blowing up. Not that they're all going to blow up, not that they're all going to melt down and implode, but it happens.
There's going to be some that do quit running or are running so bad that they can barely get themselves down the road. But the vast majority of bikes are still going to be just like mine was. They're going to go down the road just fine. And unless a person pushes to find out, they're never going to realize that they lost power because it happens over so many miles that you get used to.
It's a slow degradation.
You get used to that slow normal. So that's what we're saying. So hope that clears things up, that we are not saying that your bike is going to blow up. We're not saying that you have to have this, you're going to be left stranded on the side of the road. No, we're saying that you're going to have accelerated wear and that you're going to have a loss of power. These things are indisputable.
Now, if you have any questions at all about anything you've seen in this video, or if you want to check out some of the testing we've done, it's in the description below.
Y'all ride safe out there.